stairs. Was that modular?
It was
just happened?
No. We'll say no.
Okay. Was it organic?
Yeah, no.
We all have organs, so I guess.
Was it grass-fed, if you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I love it, though. All of these musicians, all in one place. Somewhere Count Basie is smiling.
Because he's not hearing it.
Yes, no, because his legacy of using more than one musician lives on. You know? I'll tell you who uses more than one musician, the music industry. The music industry chews musicians up and spits them out. But I will say this, I like that it takes the time to chew. It is different than me, it is superior to me in that sense. Chewing though, can we get a round of applause for chewing? It's so important, kids. Chewing gives you a break from talking. I'll tell you something, I wish politicians would do more chewing. Are politicians Garfield or what? Because they're fat cats. The other day I met someone who was scared of cats. I'm not scared of cats at all. But I can understand why someone might be. They might throw the poo box at you. No, they own poo boxes. Not everybody has this. That's probably how cats are going to take over the world, right? They'll blockade, set up litter box blockades, take us all out that way. Lately I've been collecting stuff. Videotapes, CDs, dust, germs, neuroses. You name it, I got it. I think it's important to surround yourself with piles of stuff so that if the Nazis come, they won't find you. They'll just think it's a video store. But make sure you put non-appealing titles for Nazis. No, in the parts they can see. So no Mel Gibson films. No, can't put Starship Troopers there. What else is it? What do you think would be a Nazi's favorite comedy?
They like Lenny Riefenstahl. Oh,
Which
no.
one? Death of Stalin?
They could like, yeah, they would like.
Yeah. Don't put Die Hard out or Wonka. Everybody wants those. You don't want to. Some have said I should open a junk shop, but if you ask me, it'll need to have a lot more politicians' ideas in my collection for me to be able to call it that. The only good politician was JFK because of what happened to him. Everyone says these days you should save money, so I'm taking a CPR training course in case I see any drowning. White people love mayonnaise, am I right? Anyone here love mayonnaise?
Love is a strong word for
It is, right? But then have a sandwich with some mayonnaise mixed with hot sauce on it and then tell me you don't love it. I mean, I'm sure that's something you could do.
Yeah.
You could eat the sandwich and then tell me you don't love it.
A little bit of ketchup
You like you're ketchup man.
and horseradish.
Mixed together?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Then it makes mayo.
Is that
Real mayo.
Real mayo?
Yeah.
But you put an egg in there. You gotta get an egg there to really mayonnaise it up. Right now you've got veganese.
Yeah. They're a little dry though.
Eggs are dry?
Yeah.
Just the outside?
The vegan ones are. They're very grainy or I don't know.
Don't you like it when mustard's grainy? Then you try to spread it and you're just like, why do I have a bunch of dipping dots? Why do I have a bunch of savoring dipping dots on my rye? But no, white people love mayonnaise. And I know, there's so many of them in positions of power, so I'm going to give you my only tip for job interviews that I've learned over the years is bring Hellmann's. Bring a Costco-sized thing of Hellmann's to every job interview. Eat it during the interview. Offer it to your potential master.
Montreal.
No, but I've got that.
You got that Montreal thing going.
Yeah, part of that is because of just my voice sounds destroyed by hard living. And the other reason is I look like I might be from New York, but I'm talking without confidence. No, the Montreal people are pretty confident in their lack of social movement, and their lack of upward mobility. No, you gotta do this mayonnaise thing. You gotta offer it to the potential boss. They're gonna ask you for references. Ventriloquist as the mayo, throw your voice, say, Nick's a great worker. Greatest strength, loves mayonnaise. Greatest weakness, may love it too much. You may not have a chance to eat from my jar. I might finish it. One of the reasons for colonization was mayonnaise. The white people would bring it to the countries and everyone would get grossed out and leave. And that is why the Amazon is in the state it's in. What state is it in? Brasilia? I've noticed white people have really gotten into pickling of late. White people love pickling things. Go to their house and their fridge is full of green beans and mason jars. There's hardly room for mayonnaise.
All the mayonnaise is over in Japan now.
I know. That's where they make it now. Ever since it's been outsourced. I don't know if you know, but about 25 years ago, China made a specific decision to centralize mayonnaise production in their tremendous and legendary country. But no, you go to a white person's fridge, there's all this pickled stuff, but if you ask me, they should try pickling their resentment of other folks getting a seat at the table. But I guess if they pickle it, it'll last forever. So maybe don't. I'm so broke I had to sell my seat at the table. It was just for $10, I put it on Facebook Marketplace, someone was like, I had it listed at $1 million. This guy's like, how about 10? I looked around, empty jar of mayonnaise. I hadn't bought some VHS in about a few days. I said, I'll use the $10. 1 jar of mayonnaise. One trip to the Sally Ann. Let me see. I love gaming. Any gamers in the audience? My favorite game is Grand Theft Red Onion. It's when I do self-checkout at No Frills. By the way, self-checkout's kind of a frill. It seems like they should just call themselves to one frill. One frill, not communicating with another person. Too many people are oh wait, no. I don't want to say that. No, that was a depressing joke. I don't want to tell any depressing jokes. I do love that movie, Les Miserables. It's a story about how easy it is to get diseases. They should have called it 2022, am I right? My favorite disease is eczema, because it gives you an excuse to be flaky. Thank you very much. That joke was in case anyone from Reader's Digest is in the audience and wants to use it. These days they should call it Googler's Digest, I think the name Just for Laughs should... By the way, I want to have someone rapping chords, just like at every time I do comedy, just the guy to my left. Ed McMahon, but he's just quietly, carefully, tidily rapping a chord. I think the name Just for Laughs should change their name to Just a Reason to Overpay American Comedians. I feel like I got... Thank you. You get it. You get it. I know who laughed at that. An under 18. Oh. No. Well, and then I drew a picture of Pogo. And I asked my friend to draw a picture of Pogo from memory, and she drew the clown, Pogo the Clown, which is John Wayne Gacy's clown character, that's the first Pogo that comes to mind. It might be Gen X when. But I drew the classic Pogo, cartoon character from the Okefenokee swamp. Let me see. There's nothing, you know, you gotta do something. You gotta be careful you should really classify what your books are. Because my notebook here has everything from journals to shopping lists to jokes to, I'll open it up and it's the memorial service I wrote for somebody. Like, I don't wanna.
Hilarious.
Yes! I mean, it was funny enough. I once asked someone to go Dutch and wound up paying for their flight to Amsterdam. Live and learn. Die, lose ability to learn. People have turned to very creative ways of making money these days. Facebook Marketplace has turned very dark lately, ever since they added a human organs section. I'd sell something there, but I don't have the brains. Thank you. Reader's Digest. Comedy has become more and more difficult to do. How can I make people laugh while I'm uncontrollably evacuating myself due to fear? Admittedly, this was an issue before times were fearful. Just like evacuating. Hey, let's have a big round of applause for voiding our body of waste. Oh, we got some people. Okay, good. That means there aren't too many beef eaters in the audience. That stuff keeps you from doing the dirty. Have you noticed, like, there's also way more of an appetite for, like, racist comedy these days? Like, if Kramer had screwed up in 2022, he'd immediately be hired by Newsmax and he'd be touring arenas in Alberta. No, I love Alberta. It's full of cowboys who have no right to act like cowboys and talk like Stompin' Tom Connors, but they're millionaires. Remember Stompin' Tom, the original Drake?
Drake of the North.
The Drake of the North. I hated when he died. It was because I was just like, come on, this guy, eternal, you know? And then I felt the same way when Ben Kerr died. Any Ben Kerr fans in the audience? I feel like there's a crowd that remembers Ben Kerr.
Yeah.
You know, if Ben Kerr had stayed alive, we wouldn't have some of these more nebulous buskers around. You know, he'd have kicked Graham, the drummer guy. He'd have kicked him out of his prime spot outside the Eaton Center. What about that dude at Spadina and Queen, who's just like got this distorted amp and is just screaming all the time? Oh, Ben Kerr would have headbutted him, taken over, put on that polka machine. Speaking of, what do you think of the butlers? The butlers, oh, that's a class comment that I actually Freudian slipped, called the busker a butler. Sir, can you please serve me a fairly well-played version of All Along the Watchtower? No, there's these. But what about the buskers who get on the subway now? And again, they've got one of those. They're not even playing anything. They have an accordion that's like just got a Bluetooth speaker in it, and it's playing polka. I want to make a painting of dogs playing polka. You know? I feel like Netflix, more like text flicks. These shows are so boring. You just text people about it, about how much it sucks while you're watching it. I feel like I'm kind of done, right? Like, career-wise.
More like
I got no more likes. I got no jokes. I mean, anyone got, what's your current favorite thing to do in life? Nap?
Yep.
Rap quotes tidily and give
Napper.
yourself. Yeah, I nap all the time.
Yeah.
I got COVID in July, and it's just like now the COVID nap. Anyone get those COVID naps? Like, what is it, my mom in the audience? I got it in July. Everyone's getting sick. This is, the only place safer than the Tranzac right now for getting COVID is the COVID recovery ward in Sunnybrook. What about October? It's the spookiest month for me because that's when my father passed away. What do you dress like for Halloween? You wear one of those Jewish, like mourning flowers on your thing.
But
Oh.
Halloween's on Monday this month.
Oh,
Yes, it is.
you don't like it? Come on, man. That means you've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to wear a costume.
Hey, wow.
I'll let you take that in.
Thank you.
Whenever you
Thanks
say.
for that.
No problem. Yeah, because we got to remember. I have a good feeling about this Halloween. I've gotten out of the comedy thing, and right now, and I'm just getting into the let's strategize how to make this the funnest Halloween. We have it's still only October 7th. Why did September happen so fast, and now October's just dripping by like an hourglass in slow mo? Like an hourglass that you filled with accidentally put molasses in with the sand.
I thought that was November though.
Nah, November goes quickly because you gotta, the whole waiting for Memorial Day, like suddenly Memorial Day. We're just remembering, like November 1st, think about the Great War. November 2nd, backwards, 1812. November 3rd, Mackenzie King's battle at the Eglinton Post Office Tavern. Montgomery, the Battle of Montgomery's Tavern. Which is actually my favorite story. This is one of my favorite stories ever is the Battle of Montgomery Tavern because this guy Mackenzie King, who I don't think was ever actually prime minister. I was looking into this. He's got a big name, but I don't think this guy ever made it to the top. He's like Hamilton. And
Mackenzie King was the prime minister. Mackenzie
was the prime minister, but Mackenzie King's just like a famous.
No, Mackenzie King was the prime minister.
But William Lyon Mackenzie was also prime minister.
No, I don't think he was.
Wait, no, wasn't he like the first prime?
He was. Was he?
I will say this: Mackenzie King was very important because he was against the Loyalists. He tried to get Canada to be free of England's dominion, and clearly failed miserably. But he goes to this. He decides we're going to go to this. We're going to congregate at this tavern at Eglinton, north of Yonge, which north of Yonge, north of Eglinton. Which is like never a good idea. Even in 2022, it's like never a good idea to go north of Eglinton on Yonge. And they get it. So he's like getting started. He goes to with his posse to one guy to he finds like a loyalist general and his friend, and he's like, we're taking you. We're taking you hostage. And they're like, okay. And he's like, but we're all gentlemen here, so I'm not going to search you or anything. Then they go to this tavern, and Mackenzie King's like, okay, I'm gonna like muster the troops, and I'll leave you, my second in command, to watch over these guys who for sure are just gonna stay here, and we didn't search them, but it's fine. He leaves, the guys, the loyalists then had a gun on him and shoot his second in command, and leave. And then they're also, all the like anti-loyalists are like, mustering at the tavern, and the British come in. None of the anti-loyalists have guns, so they all get killed and disperse. And then the British continue to rule Canada for a bit longer. So this should be a lesson that we do need to strengthen our military. I talked to a man in Little Italy yesterday who insisted on this, and my whole way to live my life is I believe the last thing someone told me. So yeah, Battle of Montgomery's Tavern, you thought it was at the Jolly Miller? No, it's down the street, further south at Montgomery's. So yeah, and when you're napping, just dream of being in the 1800s and stopping the British.
Do we get Wi-Fi?
No, but you will need to connect the Ethernet cable to your ears. For
Yeah,
best
well, I got
service.
those anyway.
Great, yeah, who doesn't have?
Yeah, yeah.
We also, why do we all have so many Ethernet cables? Don't get me started. All right, thank you very much. This has been a treat, as always.